Our guest today is a guitar player for Animals as Leaders. I hope you enjoy this conversation between two guitar players just chilling, having a good time. So let's get into it. Please welcome Javier Reyes. I just got the vaccine, so I'm straight. Feels good.
Yeah, I got mine a few months ago at this point, yeah.
How do you feel?
Fine, good.
You feel fine? Okay, think about that one, right?
Yeah. That was good. Like, I wasn't tripping. I was like, yeah, whatever. Just give me the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. Do you think that comes from like you eating all that food around the world? You just don't care what
You know, it's funny. I was like, I'm like, we all have our threads with like musician homies.
Yeah.
And I had the J&J, right? And it was like I got it like a week before all that news came out.
Oh, great.
And somebody was just like, yo, are you worried, dude? And I was just like, bro, it's like between all the random crap that I've ingested, random people that I've smoked blunts with,
Dude.
I was like, the vaccine is the least of my worries.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm good. Give me the thing. Let's get back to normal.
Yeah. Dude, I had the same thought process as you. I'm like, what? Okay. Put it in me.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
It's like, whatever. Dude.
Honestly,
Like,
I mean,
it's like,
you know what? I've listened to enough Joe Rogan podcasts. I think the science is fine.
I don't even know if the science is fine or not. It has.
Put it in me.
It's just like, whatever, dude. Like, it's free? Yeah, let's go.
Oh, and it's free. Free, put it in me. Oh, dude, especially when you're a musician. If it's free, that's a...
I mean, dude, one way or another, I have no control. It's like...
That's true, too.
I play guitar. That's about it,
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also weird, like, that kind of subconscious sacrifice you're willing to take, like, to do what you do, right?
As far as the vaccine, I mean, I don't know, bro. I was just like, sure, I'll get it. I don't know. I didn't think twice about it. It was just like,
Yeah.
I've done worse things in my life.
Same. Same. I didn't think twice either. I think there's something more just like, to us, that's just kind of something that kind of naturally, that's your natural thought process of years of doing things a certain way, like, making sacrifices, just kind of taking a lot of risks. You'll naturally just kind of, okay, that's fine.
It's like, cool, whatever. Cool. Go to some country that you don't know anything. Oh, when you go to Japan and you go to a restaurant, you're like, I don't know anything that they're serving here because I can't read it. Yeah. But I'll take that thing. Hopefully it's good. And, more or less, sometimes it is. And every now and then you'll get the chance where it's like, nah, it's not that good, dude. I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
Like, I think we're eating jellyfish, dude.
Yeah, you just like see a picture of planet.
Yeah.
That's the picture I want. And like you point this picture right here.
It's just like, yes. Mm.
So you guys went to Japan, huh?
Yeah, we've been a couple of times. Have you not been to Japan?
Once. It was sick.
I love Japan.
It's a beautiful place.
It's the future. It
is. Yeah.
Everything is just organized and designed a little bit better with a little bit more detail, like attention to detail.
Attention to detail. You're right. Have you had their ramen there?
Hell yeah, dude.
Dude, that's
I think I discovered like ramen there, and then when I came home, it was like all of a sudden there was like, I realized that it was a thing here too, but
same.
But I was just for me growing up, it was like ramen was like cup of noodles, and I was like, when somebody told me you want ramen, I was like, for real though, like no, but they're like, no, this is real ramen, and I mean, it's ramen.
You had it, and then it's probably life-changing.
Yeah, Japan's food is awesome. Have you ever been to a 7-Eleven in Japan?
Yeah.
It's legit.
It is.
It's like they don't have that dried up, little taquitos and the dried up pizza. They have legit food. It's like looks good when you buy food from like a little kiosk at the train station.
Yeah.
It looks like it does in the cover, and it isn't bad.
It isn't bad. No, and 7-Eleven's like that's like the massive like food store around. Like if you go like outside the U.S., that's like the place everywhere.
They got them everywhere.
7-Eleven, like why is 7-Eleven everywhere?
Everywhere, dude.
Oh crap! I kind of love them.
I'm not mad at it, 7-Eleven.
Yeah, especially when they're open past midnight. The best time to go out get snackies.
Yeah.
It's
Very reliable.
very reliable snacks. You need reliable snacks.
I think I've been to a 7-Eleven at every hour of the day at some
Dude.
point in my life.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. When one's open and you gotta walk across the street, I'm like, am I gonna take this chance?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm taking another risk.
Yeah.
Late night snacks, vaccine. Same thing, right?
Same thing.
All right.
Same thing.
Oh man. So you're from DC, huh?
I am from DC, born and raised.
Born and raised. Wow. How's the music scene out there?
I think there was a music scene in DC. I mean, there obviously still is, but I don't know if I was. I think I was at part of that cusp where it's like the idea of like local music, everybody, when I tell people from DC, they're like, "Oh, dude, DC punk scene," and I'm like, "Yeah, cool."
Yeah.
But Bad Brains and Fugazi, bands like that it was a thing, and I think that was legit a scene. But I'm also in the generation where like the internet became a thing, and I think that slowly started kind of killing what a local scene sounds like. I mean, like what's the scene in LA?
I didn't think about that. I never thought about that.
Yeah, I mean,
Whoa.
it doesn't. No one's, in my opinion, no one's being like, yeah, DC music or like LA music. It's just like whatever, some random guy just happens to be from LA at this point. He could have been from Seattle, but he just popped off the internet.
Whoa. Interesting. When did you move down here?
2010.
2010.
2010, we moved to California.
So you're still like a teen and a kid when you're out in DC. There wasn't like sick local bands coming up or.
Yeah, at least by the time that I remember being in bands, yeah, there was a local scene for sure. A lot of in the time it was like when Korn was coming out, Deftones was popping off, and there was a lot of that. Yeah. Ska was a big thing also.
Cool.
Do you remember ska?
I never really. That's one genre I really never dove into.
I never liked it, but it was definitely a big thing in DC. I remember, it's like you either were Timberlands or you were like plaid fan shoes.
Yeah. Nice.
And it was definitely a thing. There were some bands. Actually, there were. Do you remember that band Nothing Face?
Yeah.
They were like
They're
in the
sick.
metal scene. We were like, damn, Nothing Face did it, dude. We all got hope.
Wow.
And that was a big thing.
Yeah, they got big. Yeah, they got like the Slipknot tours, and they got signed, and the whole nine. Man.
Exactly.
It was
exactly.
cool.
There was another band called Dog Fashion Disco. Do you remember that?
No.
Right. Same era. Yeah, Dog Fashion Disco. They were actually a band that won like a competition. Well, it's like one of the first like music internet competition things. Like bands would submit and then people would vote on them, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And they won, and it happened to be a band from DC. And we were also friends with them, But I was
Nice.
I was in my late teens at that point, and it was like, whoa, cool. What is the internet? And
Yeah.
damn, I'm making myself sound real old.
No, it's good. No, we need to hear this. We all need to show the world how old we are. I'm 35 and I feel old as fuck, dude. It's all good.
I'm 40. I look older than I feel.
Good. No, I mean, especially the older you get. I mean, this might sound weird to say, but I'm looking forward to 40 already. I remember, to me, 35 was like an age where I felt like, yeah, I'm getting older. I feel like experienced.
I mean,
Yeah,
you're pretty experienced. You've been all over the goddamn world.
yeah. But it feels like, you could share with me your experiences when you hit like, for me, mid 30s was like you have all these experiences, but you could finally like kind of compartmentalize them and like, give them like some meaning and
I think
learn.
you matured faster than I did. I'm just figuring that out.
Perfect. Same.
Uh, I don't. My myth. I mean, it was. We all have our different ways of doing it, but 30s in general for me were like just pretty cool. Like it was basically at the beginning of my 30s when the animal's career was popping off.
Yeah.
So, and I had gone through all my 20s. I had gone through a period I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to do music. I had quit music for like from 22 to about 25, 26. Slowly got back into music. I still wasn't sure what I was going to do. So I was already like up and down. I was, I think I even got my real estate license at one point and was just doing random shit. And then Animals happened real fast. And then it was just like third tour, we finished out here in LA and it was like, I think we're going to stay. And all of a sudden my life was just like pretty much way different than how I had seen it just a couple of years before. And then things just kept, escalating with touring and living in LA. There was periods of like, I'm in LA, let me go out to this place and let me go out to this place. I hear this thing is cool. I hear that thing is cool.
Yeah.
And then it turned into like, okay, it's the same city it's a city. It has the thing. Just do normal, everyday things.
Mm-hmm.
So, but 30s were great. I've had lots of fun in my 30s.
Yeah.
A lot has happened.
It's really interesting that like your career with Animals Leaders took off when you're in your 30s. It's kind of a story like you hear when like late teens, early 20s.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, but like I was saying, I was probably like 21, 22. Actually, I was 21. We were talking about 9/11 earlier.
Yeah.
So Tosin and I were in a band together when we were younger, and the day that I quit, or we used to do like weekend warrior gigs, right? Where it's like you do the 3 day shows on the weekend, then come back home for the rest of the week. And I remember driving back home. The very next morning, I wake up and it's 9/11. It's the Twin Tower stuff on TV. So that's why I would never forget, like what I did that day and et cetera. And it was either that night or the day after that I remember I hit up Tosin first and I was just like, I think I'm going to quit the band. And I quit music for a while.
You quit the band, not only the band, but also music.
Yeah.
That's a big quit commitment. That's
Yeah, I was, we played a show in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Have you ever been there?
no.
It's Pawtucket. It's a very interesting place. We played with this shot ass band. And they were just kind of weird dudes.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like band member issues in my own band.
Yeah.
And I remember driving on the drive home being like, dude, I'm 21. Like all my friends are in college, they're doing things.
Yeah.
I'm in a band with some grown ass dudes who are acting younger than me. Like I got to do something. And I quit music. I moved to New York, try to just do other things. After 2 years, came back to DC. Was in college, was bored, and then slowly started getting back into music. Like started taking guitar lessons again with my old teacher, and it was like, started playing, and it was like I forgot that I could do some of the things that I could do, and
Yeah.
and slowly I just kind of kept doing it. And then, maybe a few years after, Tosin's like, "Yo, since you're still playing, do you want to play in this band?" And I was like, "Yeah, whatever." And
Yeah, I guess I'll do it.
I mean, kind of literally. I mean, it was just like, I knew Tosin and I were friends. We both knew we were good guitar players, and it was like, I was like, sure, just let me know when you get it set up, and I'll be down. Sure, I'm not doing much else.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a job in DC. I was working at a studio by that point, but I wasn't. I was like, sure, whatever, dude. Sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like nonchalantly, without. I mean, obviously, like very innocently, like probably had no idea where it was going to go.
Not initially. Not initially. It was just like, here's something cool and unique. Let's go try it. There was actually, I mean, we had done like 2 local shows in DC, and then nothing happened for maybe like a year, right? And then I remember Tosin coming. Tosin had moved away, and he came back in town, and he was like, "Yo, I think I might just like, I don't think I'm gonna do this. I think I might just like I might move to New York and go to school." And by that time, I had heard the music. When I'd also remember the 2 shows that we did were pretty like kind of unique. I was also kind of desperate to get the hell out of DC and doing something. And I remember being like, "Yo, if we do this for a year, I'm pretty sure our lives are going to be pretty different." And I mean, literally, it was less than a year before our lives turned a whole 180.
It happened quick, huh?
Yeah, kind of pretty quick.
When did you guys? It sounds like you guys initially made a move together, or pretty close.
What do you mean, to LA?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we finished the tour here. We finished the tour here. We were on tour with. I Wrestled the Bear once.
Sick.
Darkest Hour and Dillinger.
Oh my God.
And we finished here in LA. Well, in LA, and we stayed to do a music video, and I think there was like a photo shoot for Guitar World. It was like finally the band was in LA, the label was taking opportunities to try to do any type of press stuff, because we were just like in DC not doing anything. And we had some friends who we were staying with, and they were like, "Yo, why don't you just stay in LA? It's like, what are you gonna go do in DC?" And we were like, "I think you're right." And Tosin legit just stayed. Like, he was like, "All right, guys, we drove the van back," but Tosin just stayed. I went back home to get rid of my things, my belongings and whatnot, and then moved back maybe like a month after. Like, came back with like 2 suitcases and a guitar or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild. Like, to go from 1 year, I'm gonna quit music, and now you're moving cross country.
Well, it was multiple.
Right.
It was multiple years at that point. Like, it was my early 20s when I quit music. But then, but around the age of 26, 27 is when I started getting back into music, and that was via like taking guitar lessons and again just forgetting what I could do. And then that kind of escalated. I quit my job. I was working with my parents, and I quit working with them. I quit school and just started doing music. And I was playing with my teacher. We would play tango guitar.
Yeah.
Like Latin American folkloric tango tunes and stuff like that. And I was also playing in a hip hop band.
Hip hop band.
A hip hop band, like, it was
Sounds
almost
heavy.
like quasi roots, but not as good.
Yeah. Still sick.
Yeah. And that's what I was doing before I joined Animals, basically. And it was just like, all right, this is my life here, and then Animals thing happened, and then that happened real fast.
Wow.
Yeah.
It seems that you and Tosin like established a very deep music chemistry very early on and kind of stayed.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty early on, we were like, oh, we were both the youngest guys in that band that we were in. And we were both really good guitar players, like, and we just kind of kicked it off, and we just stayed friends. Like when I quit music is when he went off to do like Reflex stuff, and we were always just kind of in contact through AIM, Instant Messenger. I don't know if you remember what that is.
Of course you do.
Okay.
Oh yeah. What was your screen name?
JR666.
Oh man. Oh, you're heavy, dude.
I was heavy as fuck.
I was X Incarnation X56. Why do we still know our AIM names?
I don't know. I don't think I'll ever forget that one.
You have to be a ballsy guy to put 666 in your name.
I was metal, dude. I was like, yeah.
That's sick, dude. Yeah, like you guys complement each other so well, But yet, from my outside perspective, looking in, I could also see like the differences. But those differences are very important when you're in a band. They just make the band sound.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have our differences. We've been influenced literally by different things growing up, but we've also like influenced each other a lot.
Yeah.
I introduced 7-string to him, and then fast forward several years, he introduced 8-string to me.
Wow.
The finger picking thing. I don't think he had ever done any finger picking until he met me, and now I thump because of him. So we've always just kind of gone back and forth. He's always been a flashy player. Even way when I met him versus me just being like, I know that I'm good. I don't need to like always do all the craziest things.
Yeah.
So it works,
It works. Yeah, you're like a less is more. He's like a more is more.
Yeah.
Right. But
Exactly.
but we combine that. It's like it's sick.
It's good.
It's special.
No one's trying to step on each other's toes. Sort of thing.
Or even if you do, fuck it. Right.
Yeah. It's just like
whenever me and Mark couldn't be any more different, but that music connection, it's what makes it,
How did you guys meet?
We were just talking. I mean, Doc's band God Forbid played. I don't know if you're aware, but down the street here is Showcase Theater, which around here is like a legendary venue around the Inland Empire Corona scene. So I saw Suicide Silence opened for God Forbid. 2003, and I think that was Mark's first time seeing the band. And then we had a bass player that knew him, and we needed a guitar player. So our old bass player hit up Mark, and he came down and in his room. We had Alex tried out in his room, Mitch tried out in his room, and Mark, and it's how I had met. Yeah, pretty much met Mark in here, and just. The older you get, the more you notice the differences.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, It's a special time when you meet and you establish similar to you and Tosin, where when you get older you could look back and connect dots, and then as you just said, you actually influence each other,
Yeah.
and kind of made you the player you are today.
Yeah, in a weird way, it's always a gamble too, right? Because it's like you probably get yourself in the situation more out of excitement than out of reason. You're like, damn, there's a potential dude, there's a potential bandmate. Like, let's make it work.
Yeah.
And you don't. And when you're young, you're not thinking, oh, I'm gonna have all the fights with this dude later on in my life.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
I have to make legit business decisions. My taxes are gonna be attached to this fool's
Dude.
taxes. You're not thinking that. You're just like, you look tight, dude. You know,
Dude, that's exactly it.
and
Oh my fucking god.
and so you know, we kind of get lucky. I remember
Yeah, you get lucky. It's true.
when Matt, our German joined, he was like, all right, where do I sign? We're like, hold up, fool. We're like, slow down. Like, we don't know you. It's
Yeah.
like me and this dude, and we've been friends for long enough that we know how to like handle each other.
Yeah.
You know, let's go on tour for like a year, and then, you know, then we know if we want to be around you long long enough.
What a smart move. Who made that call?
Both Tosin and I, we were just
Smart.
like, we were like, yo, especially with touring, dude. Like, you know,
People break. A lot of people break.
people break. Yeah, it's just like, what if this guy hates being on tour? Like,
Very common. Yeah.
what if he hates us? You know, then we were telling him, and we were like,
Yeah.
yo, you may not like us. Like, you
Yeah.
may think we suck. You know, like,
And you might be right, but whatever.
yeah, sometimes you're probably right.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like, again, it's like that excitement. You're just
Yeah.
like, whatever, dude, let's make it work. Let's go.
Yeah.
And,
it's true. It's fucked.
But you know, yeah, I guess. So you get lucky. You know, it's nice that you guys have known each other this long and
Yeah.
are still friends. You know.
Yeah, you're right. I never thought about it that way. There's a lot of luck involved there.
Yeah.
A lot of. I never heard someone say that before. It's very true.
It's like going on Tinder, swiping right 4 times, and it just works 15 years later.
Dude. That's a great analogy. I just got mind blown. Wow, that's true. That's like, hey, you want to be in a band together, but yet, oh wait, I didn't know we're actually gonna get married for the rest of our fucking lives.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's like
You know,
it's like I didn't realize that I have to actually know you.
Yeah.
For the rest of my life, because I know
Yeah.
what your sweat smells like.
The feet, the socks.
Yeah.
We know who showers and who doesn't. We all know it's me. That's fine. It's okay. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a weird little
is.
thing.
But it's great though. Like you, even during the worst times, you just love them. You know.
Usually, yes.
Sure. Usually, and
But
they
you know,
and they love you back.
It's like
It's
they become it's like brothers, you know. Right? You know, you have your moments when you like disagree, and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, you know, that's how the homie is, and I can't,
Yeah.
you know, I can either stress about it or just move forward.
Let's move
you know?
forward. You know, and having those, especially being in a band, when you're in it, it kind of sucks. But having those opposing opinions is so it's so special for the music. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it helps to grow on all sides, right? Like, because I mean, our creativity changes over years,
Yeah.
and I don't know if I would think it has to do with like personality and how the person develops, and that can be due to like how you interact with other people, how you
True.
learn to all of a sudden deal with somebody else.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I mean, it's all an evolution, if you will, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. You're both like evolving and growing up together. It's strange, huh?
Yeah, I mean, there's times where you're just like, I do not see eye to eye, but then all of a sudden you're like, all right, I don't think I'll ever, but, you know, we do on this other thing, and we're great over here, so that's great. That's all I need.
Yeah. It's you guys evolve together, grow up together. You guys, you know, this person is drinking, this person's getting sober. You guys are just having growing pains
Mm-hmm.
when you're in like the same life. You
Yeah.
know, it's strange, but it's cool. You're sober, right?
Yeah, I am sober. I became sober about almost 20 months ago.
That's recent.
Yeah, fairly recent.
What made you get sober?
You know, just getting out of hand with my using. I was partying quite
Yeah.
a bit, and I was partying alone quite a bit, and that's when it was like, all right, something, you know, had some shit happen, and it was like, all right, I gotta do something, or I'm gonna fuck everything up. Like, my career, my health, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, so for now, I'm sober. We'll see what the future has, but it's been great actually. Like,
How you been feeling?
good. Way more productive. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, way more productive. Save a lot of money.
There's that too. Dude, thousands of dollars wasted on just booze and thousands, dude.
Bro. And I was, like when I would go drinking at a bar, I'd be the guy that's like, after a few shots, I'm like, you want a shot too, dude? I got you.
I know.
So
stupid.
And it's like, I just liked, I like being social and
Yeah.
and drinking is fun. Like, the partying is fun. I had some really fucking amazing, heartwarming partying moments.
Yeah.
But yeah, started getting a little, I was getting very secretive with it, and I was just doing it alone. Like I remember when I told my dudes that, I was like, yo, I got a problem, I'm going sober, and they were like, what, really? And I'm the one who parties the most in my band, and they had no clue that it was like that to that extreme. So I was pretty good at hiding it.
You hit it.
Yeah.
To where like people the closest to you couldn't even see.
Correct.
If your band can't see, that's very secretive.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's like,
dude,
we, literally when you're on tour, there is the idea of privacy is
out the window.
It's out the window.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the fact that I was able to hide it that well is I guess impressive, but
yeah.
But yeah, so and now that's kind of the vibe, just sober half. So,
dude, luckily for you, like you got sober in the nick of time, dude. Like right before the pandemic started. Imagine if like you weren't sober.
Yeah, for sure.
That would have been a disaster for you.
Yeah, because I would have been alone a lot.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get away. I mean, that's kind of the thing too. I mean, dude, we come home from tour, and you're like, all right, I don't know what to do because I don't have my rider or my day sheet. I don't have anybody bugging me. I know that I don't have to do anything for the next 4 months. Just party, and it's easy to do that. And especially in LA when it's like all the friends and homies from tour come visit here. They're on tour and they play here, and you're like, there's a reason to party. There's a reason to party, and there's another one.
Wow.
And then it just becomes that's all you do, So
yeah, it's very alarming how quick that habit can just happen, and it's a habit you don't even realize it's a habit.
Some people are really good at controlling that shit. They go hard and they're just like, yep, I gotta go do my shit tomorrow.
Some people can do that. I'm like, how do you? I don't know.
I was good at that, but then I wasn't good at like stopping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like I'd be like, okay, are you going home yet? Because I'm gonna party by myself. So
wow.
Yeah.
You were that guy.
I was that guy.
Fuck, dude. That's nuts.
But
Well, good thing that you stopped before this time. I mean, yeah, I met you at the observatory, and we're both partying.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, what's up, dude?
Yeah.
Javi, what's up? All right, see ya. Yeah, that's how I met you. It was during like a drunken hangout.
So everybody's just like running from green room to green room.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just like, oh yeah, what's up, dude?
What's up, dude? Yeah, that's how. And that's also like the confusing thing with alcohol is the good moments you have with it make it very confusing. It's like, oh, it's really bad for me because I met like so many cool people when I was like, I met you when I was at the observatory, taking shots of Jaeger.
Well,
so you have like these confusing subconscious things.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like a lot of it, 90% of the time was actually pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Was and yes, like you probably wouldn't have socialized with a certain group of people. I mean, I have some best friends that I'm like that I've partied beyond and what anybody should party with, who I'm still best friends with, and I'm like, I would have never had that type of relationship had it not been for partying.
That's
So there's definitely I mean, even like, there's some dream come true moments. You're on tour with some of your idols, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, you partake, dude. Let's go.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And then
warms your heart.
yeah, and
Yeah,
you're just
dude.
like,
Yeah, I feel
it's like,
good.
dude, I'm fucking,
I'm partying with this guy. Holy
yeah.
shit.
And so that's awesome, right? It's
great.
like it's kind of a
It's
bucket
amazing.
list thing.
It's amazing.
But again, some people have
Yeah.
a little bit more control than others, and for me, again, it's not like I got arrested or I didn't go to rehab or anything like that. It was just like, this is getting out of hand. Some shit had happened from, that it was just like, it was too much, and I was like, this is my opportunity to change.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. And just so that everyone listening or watching now, Javi's here, and we're drinking water.
Drinking water.
You're hanging out and you're drinking water. It's cool, huh?
Yeah.
How does that feel? Now going out and this is what you do.
Well, I mean, the few times that I've gone out to socialize, even with the pandemic, I'm fine. You
feel fine?
Yeah, I feel fine. I'm not. It's not like
Good.
it's not like I look at a drink and I'm like, oh god. Like, yeah. I mean, even earlier today, I was at the studio, and they have tons of liquor at the studio, and it's just like, I forget that it's even there. So it's not really like a thing.
That's great.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have that.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. Talk about another lucky moment in your life. A lot of people don't have that, man. That's rare. I think to not even have that itch.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
mean, I miss the social aspect for sure, but like actually drinking and stuff like that, I don't, dude. I mean, when's the last time you went a year without a hangover?
I'm 35, and it's definitely been over a decade.
It's kind of nice to not like
It's great.
have a hangover, dude.
That's awesome.
So it's yeah. I mean, well, I haven't done a tour yet. We'll see how that goes. I think I'll be fine, but
I think it'll be good.
it's more, it's more so, I think, when people come up and they're like, yo, fuck it.
Yeah.
The ones that didn't get the memo.
Yeah. It's where it sure just says memo. So we're like, well, what's the memo? I'm like, well, this is the memo.
We're like, yo, bro.
Give him a quick sober slap.
No, it's kind of, in a weird, the pandemic's been a cool little, blessing. It's weird to say that, but it's allowed me to have some significant time before I go
Yeah.
back out on tour. So,
Yeah. What have you been up to?
bro, writing music. I was like streaming on Twitch for a little bit. Started doing like I started working on a little company to like for patches for like XFX and Helix and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I started learning how to code, like all sorts of. I'm trying to make a software. So,
Oh, you're in it.
and I'm
That's
I'm
sick.
kind of a nerd. So, well,
A minute.
I tell myself I didn't ever graduate college or,
Sick.
but I'm just always in front of the computer and like either fucking around with Pro Tools or some other fucking software. I almost do that more than I even play guitar. So
Wow.
I wanted to figure out how to do this contact stuff, and I was like, you know what? Let me just figure it out, and I started figuring it out.
You figure it out.
Yeah, currently figuring it out. Still, it's hard as hell, but
That's impressive, man. It's like guitar. You're constantly trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
It's like, well, now I can make it kind of sound good, but I'll just keep going.
it's like, what else can I do with it?
Yeah, it's infinite. It never ends, huh?
Yeah, it's never ending, dude. And we always reach our plateaus, and then you see somebody else, you're like, damn, he's better. Let me do that, and then you all of a sudden can start doing that, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I like learning and trying new things and making things.
Yeah.
You know.
If you're trying to learn a new skill, how often and how much do you practice? And then how long does it take for you? Oh wait, I kind of okay. Things are starting to click. I actually play it now.
It's hard to say. I don't know. It depends on the thing, you know, like let's say for instance for thumping, when I learned that, it took me about a year, you know, to like learn it, to the point where I could be like, okay, I could perform this now, you know.
Whoa.
Yeah, it took me about a year to like get it to a point of like, all right. Um,
Well, that's encouraging to hear.
yeah,
That was great.
if you got a free year, you can learn thumping too.
Wow. Especially being an outsider, like hearing a year, it's like, and again, being like outside perspective looking in, like you're a very like great guitar player. So when I hear a great guitar player say, "Oh, this took me like a year to like to land and execute on a level where I can actually perform it," it's like, wow, that's admire that, man. It's cool.
I mean, it's you know, we don't stop being human, you know, like we have to still as musicians we have like, you know, a standard of what something is, right?
It's true.
There's also like, it's like, okay, in theory I can learn the technique, I can learn to play the right notes, but it doesn't necessarily mean I can present it, you know. Think about how many guitarists I'm sure you've met or homies that are like, yeah, I play guitar, and you see them play, you're like, damn, homie shot, you know.
Yeah.
It's like they can play the notes, they can play. You see, they kind of have the rhythm, but they're kind of shot, you know. And
Yeah.
so that's the difference, you know.
Yeah.
So you know, I think what separates, you know, the big boys from the little boys is the ones who have the ability to be like, no, this has to be at a certain level, you know. It's like when you guys perform, it's like, that's a pro band. They know how to sound a certain way, as opposed to,
Yeah.
you know, when we've all had to play shows where there's like some really young local band and you're
It's
like,
rough.
damn, they sound like locals. Okay.
It's rough.
It's like, what is it, you know? And
Yeah.
I think through time we learn that ability of, so, I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Where did you? Now that you're bringing up the local band, at what point? Like, where? How did you learn that? Because everyone kind of has their own story. Like, how did you learn like to take it to that level where you know, oh wait, this is how you actually present it and then execute it?
I don't know. I think just through experience, you know, of having. I don't know, like even in my like when I was in high school, I had, you know, my little high school band, whatever, or my friends, and we were always pretty good. Even the band that Toast and I were in, we were pretty good. And there was always there was like we would go do shows and we were like, you know, being a little self-aware, being like, damn, we're way better than that band, you know. And then I think that was kind of like, there might be a level of like competitiveness that is part of just being able to all of a sudden being like, damn, I can all of a sudden sound like my favorite bands, you know. And then I think the more and more you do it, the better and better you start sounding, as well as like even looking on stage, you know. I mean, it's like you're on stage and you have hella stage moves, and no one's gonna be on some like, this guy's only played a handful of shows. It's like, it looks like you've played thousands of shows.
Yeah.
Right. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
we've both seen local bands who are like they're kind of just starting off, and they're stoked to be opening up for Suicide Silence, and they're
Yeah.
hella nervous.
Yeah.
And you can just read it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like you have to just perform a lot to like
Yeah.
get desensitized to that. To know how to deal with like I can't hear myself. Fuck all. You know, like
Yeah.
he just fucked up, but I gotta still look cool.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? Like
Dude, totally.
How do you learn that, right? Like, I think it's just through experience, and it's like
Experience.
in little pieces.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, my guitar literally stopped working. You know, how do I continue,
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a different kind of person. You kind of, it's strange how like when you naturally just do that when like, you know, someone, you know, drummer just fucked up, but you keep going. Like that's like it's a special thing. You know, how we have this kind of this natural, like, oh, from like kind of day one, like the standard was subconsciously set. It's like, man, what?
Yeah, and and the more we do it, the faster we get at like reacting to me like,
Yeah.
oh, he fucked up, and we look at each other, and the drummer's looking at you like, where am I?
Where am I? Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh my gosh.
And then we have that. I've had those moments where I'm just like, yo, I straight up brain farted. I was thinking about my mail, like, what song is this? Okay, right, thanks.
Yeah.
You know,
It
like
happens sometimes.
I mean, it's, you know, natural, but it's the experience. And then having those
Yeah.
moments and not freaking out when you're having those moments. You're like,
Yeah.
sorry, guys.
Everything's cool.
Yeah, everything's cool, I swear. I just, you know, thought about grandma, dude. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy how it just how much focus you need, you know. Yeah, there is like a level of being competitive especially when you're like a younger band, like first starting out.
Yeah.
You know?
You're like trying to prove yourself, you know.
Yeah.
Both to, you know, you're trying to prove to your parents that you're like not
That's
ruining
huge.
your life.
Oh yeah, that's a real thing.
You're
man.
like, no, mom, I swear metal's cool. It's
I'm still doing it.
yeah, I feel you.
Mom, trust me, it's gonna work.
Yeah. It's like, no, it's cool. But meanwhile, they're like, cortate el pelo.
Oh, mío, so it's okay.
Yeah.
You guys sound good.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Oh,
like it's good. Yeah, there's so much competitiveness when you're a kid. You know,
Yeah. When I look back, the most competitive I was definitely like those early years, just playing showcase. Like you see like all the local bands, and I'm pretty. I don't know if you say lucky or spoiled, but we had a very great local scene. Like we were just saying, like kind of made me thinking back, like, oh, like you go on tour and like the local band, it's not like, it's like, man, I was used to like, if a local band played here, you knew they were gonna be sick. And there's so many bands around here. There's a lot of bands. You got Orange County, the Orange County hardcore scene, LA hardcore scene, the Inland Empire hardcore scene. Like there are so many great bands doing different types of heavy, like innovative stuff. It was very like inspiring, but yet like, okay, like we're gonna stick out. Like I had to fucking kill these guys, like literally. Like, I mean, you're fucking 16, but still there was like that level of competitiveness that I noticed that I had that the other bands didn't. You know, you kind of need like that, and then you get that experience in time. It's strange how that kind of just naturally comes out of you.
yeah.
I still look back. I'm like, where did that come from?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
like,
know. It's strange.
It's a little bit of everything. I mean,
Yeah.
by the time I started playing out, it was like I was already a pretty good guitar player. I didn't know anything about a local scene. You know, I was just like some fat kid who was just trying to play Pantera tunes and like, you know, Sepultura tunes or things that sounded like it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I definitely wanted to. I always wanted to impress, and then it was kind of nice when the older guys would be like, "Damn, you guys are pretty good."
Yeah.
Pretty good, dude.
Dude, it made you feel so good.
And you're like, "Oh shit, dude! They're gonna have us at the 21 and up show, dude."
Dude, there's something to that. When the older people start saying like, "Oh, dude, you guys sound really good," you're like, "Whoa, dude, we're like
he drives.
oh, I mean, when you have your first friend that drives, it's a game changer, man. Oh man, my first friend that drove, that was the person that I got arrested with. But man, when your first friend that gets a beagle, it's huge. You like value their opinion. So he says like your band's good. You're like, dude, you drive. Holy shit, man.
You value their opinion. That's amazing.
Dude, you do. If your friend drives, it doesn't matter if they're a loser. You value their opinion.
It's like, Pepe got a pickup truck, dude. He's wise.
Dude, he's wise, dude. All I know is that he drives, all of us don't. So he knows what's up. Fuck it.
That's amazing.
So if he says my band's good, then fuck you guys.
That's amazing.
It's strange, man, especially when you're in high school.
Yeah, it's kind
of.
I got to drive early on. I don't know if anybody valued my opinion, but
How old were you?
when
When you first started driving?
16,
Oh, you're one of the lucky ones.
I was
That's
one of the
sick.
yeah, I was kind of spoiled. You know, it was just like,
So good.
oh, you're 16 now. I actually, low key, I actually started driving earlier than that.
Yes.
My parents were hella laid back, dude. Low key, this sounds like a fake story, but I swear it's real.
Let's go.
I used to be, my mom would let me drive to middle school, right? My dad showed me how to drive early on, like literally as a kid. Like, you know, he would sit me on his lap. He would be like, all right, just grab the steering wheel. I'll do the gas stuff. Or he would let me shift gears. And then just random little opportunities. It was like, yo, move the car from here to here in the parking lot. And
That's sick.
so I would be able to do that as a kid. And yeah, it was like in 7th grade or 7th or 8th, like 8th grade. We had this like, you know, one of those old Toyota minivans that every Latino has, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We had one of those, and you could start it with anything. You get a plastic, you get a sport. You get started up with one of those.
Yeah.
And my mom would let me drive it to school. She was just lazy or tired. You know, she's not lazy because she worked hard, but she was just like, yeah, whatever, just take it. Like, and I would park it like a few blocks from the school and just walked the rest. And it was dumb because my school was like a mile away. But she just let me do that. Even by the time I got to high school, my freshman year, I was driving to school, and it was like a quarter mile away. I just wanted to be that kid that was like, yeah, I got a car, you know.
Dude, that's awesome.
I remember this scary. I had like my small group of friends that I'd be like, yo, dude, let's go to Taco Bell, dude. I was like, I'm like, yeah, I could drive. And I guess one of the teachers found out and calls my parents and is, they're like, Señora, Mrs. Reyes, we've been hearing that your son's been driving to school. Do you know anything about this? And she's like, no way. He doesn't even have his license. He doesn't even know how to drive. He would never do that. No, that's so wrong. Hang up the phone and then go pick up the car at school. And then meanwhile, I'm like just going through class. I remember that the one time that when I found out this was happening, because I go outside to the parking lot after school and the car's gone. And I'm like, oh my God, the car's stolen. Like, how am I going to tell my parents, and how are we going to explain this to the police? Like that the car is stolen from the high school. Like, how are we going to explain this? And so I call my mom, like, mom, the car's gone. She's like, I know, mijo. She's like, I went to go pick it up. Your school called. They were asking about you driving. I told them that you don't know how to drive. And I was just like, all right, cool. And then whatever. I just like, for the rest of the year, I would still drive. It would be like, she was just like, whatever. He knows how to drive. Like,
that's amazing. Dude, how cool did you feel driving to school?
It was awesome.
Man, I never experienced that.
I used to skip lunch, me and my homie, and be like, yo, let's go to Taco Bell, let's go to McDonald's, doing all the things. Dude, one of the funniest things, so we were trying to leave the school, and every now and then there was security, one of the security guards from the high schools were like hiding in some bushes all of a sudden we're driving out and homie just jumps in front of the car. We're like, oh, fuck. And this one, not so bright security guy was like, what's your name, dude? I was like, George Costanza. He's like, where are you headed to, George? I was like, Taco Bell. He's like, there's no open lunches, dude. I was like, oh, my bad, dude. Like, I'll turn right back around. I was just like, I can't believe this fool thought my name was George Costanza.
And you used to remember that name? You told him?
Huh?
Is that the actual name you
That's
told him?
exactly the name.
How do you remember that?
Because I can't forget that story, dude. That's like,
That's
it's
true.
like I told somebody my name was George Costanza, and they believed me.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah.
That was your deep subconscious. You're George in there somewhere. Wow, George Costanza.
I don't know why. I wasn't even a Seinfeld fan. I was just like, George Costanza.
It worked though, right?
It worked. He's like, you look like a George Costanza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He that security guard probably appreciated your creativity. He's like, you know what?
Yeah. Either that or either he was the dumbest dude or he was just like, fucking
Fuck.
kid. Like,
Go back to school.
yeah.
Fuck it.
But from my recollection, he definitely wasn't the brightest guy.
Man, stop by the security guard. I never got that feeling you got, man. I was like, always people driving to school, man, you look so cool. Man, driving in the school parking lot when you're a junior or a senior, man. I didn't try driving until I was 19.
Damn.
I was late. I failed the fucking written test like 9 times. I had to take like a class for it, like to help me pass the test. I'm pretty sure I failed it again, but I think whoever was scoring was like, all right, dude, just fucking,
It's like, just get it.
just
already.
fucking, just get, do something, man. I failed that 9 times. It was fucking embarrassing.
9 times. You didn't
I
even
tried.
try, dude. You were like,
I wasn't.
Fuck, go.
Yeah, dude.
You started folding the test into a little airplane and shit.
Yeah, I was always horrible at tests, man. I was always getting D's and F's. Never studied for tests. Never did homework.
I was back and forth. I was
Yeah.
like, one semester I'd be all sick, and then my teacher would be like, damn, he got all A's. We got to put him in AP classes. Then I'd get to the AP classes. I'm like, this semester, I don't want to give a fuck. So,
Wow.
And then I would skip school hella.
That's sick.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden be like, oh, homie got hella D's. He's got to go to summer school. I think I did summer school every year throughout high school. But then I'd be like doing straight A's, C's, summer school. Straight A's, C's, summer school. It was like that.
Wow. You're treating school like guitar. I'm gonna go hard and then I'm gonna take a break.
Yeah.
And go hard and break.
It's like, this teacher sucks. I'm not going to do the work.
Isn't it weird that like when you're in school, like you don't want to do work, and then when you get out of high school, like you want to go to college and you want to like read and like do homework
Yeah.
and practice.
It's weird.
It's so weird.
I like listen to books now and shit, you know?
It's strange, huh?
It's like the news is like, NPR. Nice.
Yeah. Did you start going to gym after you got sober or during or
To the gym?
yeah.
No, I've been doing gym stuff all my life.
Oh, great.
Yeah. In high school, I was pretty active. I played football, and I was in
Sick.
wrestling.
Nice.
But then I also was like, I was huge. I was like, by the time when I graduated high school, I was probably over 300 pounds.
Whoa.
Yeah, and
That's big, dude.
yeah, and so kind of around the time that I quit the band, when I was 21, I had lost like 100 pounds. So that was probably another reason why I'd also quit music, because like, life was completely different. Like, it was just completely different. You lose 100 pounds and everyone looks at you 100% different. Like, all of us, it went from just people like avoiding eye contact to like, older, younger women looking at you, kids all of a sudden being like smiling at you.
Whoa.
The world was a different fucking thing. And I was just kind of like, damn, is this what I want to do with myself, sort of thing.
That's how it is?
I mean, yeah, it was pretty gnarly. I remember going to try out clothes was a weird experience because I would, I used to shop at the Big and Tall, which
Yeah.
which was 4X is the smallest they have, and after that,
Yeah.
I used to shop at the Big and Tall, and I remember going to places and being like, all right, these are skinny jeans. They fit, they look cool, but psychologically I was just like, I'm not ready for this. Start having all these weird little sort of thoughts.
Yeah.
But so due to my weight loss, I started going to the gym a lot because I had like this crazy sagging skin, and I look like the O dude from the Metallica video, from Nothing Else Matters, or Unforgiven,
Yeah.
where he's just like,
Yeah.
decrepit. And I just started going to the gym a lot. I would be there for like 2-3 hours a day, and I became a personal trainer after about a year or so of doing that, or more. I was just like, man, if I'm at the gym all the time, I might as well just get a job here. And I became a trainer. So when I moved to New York, I was going to school, but I was also a personal trainer.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was so wrong. I was like, he probably went to New York to eat pizza, and then he came back home.
I mean, I went to New York to do a lot of things. There was pizza involved, but I was in school and I was a personal trainer.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're helping people through their physical and spiritual journey.
I mean, that's what I was hoping for, but the clients that I was getting were, just weird. You were just like, older gay dudes stoked that they had this younger Latino fucking exotic trainer who's 22 or whatever, or older ladies who were like, where should I move? Dang,
it's weird, huh?
it was a little weird. It was a little weird. I had some good moments. There was definitely some cool shit from it, but people are just weird.
It's true.
People are weird.
It's true too. Well, technically, you're still a personal trainer. You still help out people in the gym. Today, I was at the gym. I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna listen to animals as leaders. Man, that shit took me on a emotional rocket ship to the future, man.
Sure.
It was, you guys have a very innovative, futuristic sound, but somehow, which is very rare, maintains the emotion. And those two things don't tend to be the same,
Yeah.
It's cool. Like your chord progressions are like they hit me. It's cool. And it's very rare, especially coming from like a rhythm guitar player. I really don't tend to go there. But if I'm in a mood for that kind of music, I put on you guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with animals. It's pretty unique, We like to encompass everything that we listen to, Like, I mean, I grew up listening to metal. We all kind of did, but I also listen to all the different styles of music. There's periods of times where I'm like, I don't listen to any metal, and there's periods where I'm like, I'm in a metal phase right now, you know. And also growing up, I mean, dude, I've been listening to metal since I was 9, so 30. That was my first concert. I was probably starting listening to metal before that. So over 30 years of my life, I've been listening to metal.
Whoa.
And I get it. Like, I want to know some extra other things too. And, metal hasn't progressed at the same rate as, like, I think most people's taste in music, or just music in general. I think it's a slower progression. So when it comes to writing, I think just incorporate what you like, what you know, and put it into the music.
Yeah, it's cool how you can get inspired by an artist or a totally different genre, then you could put it into like what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean that's thankfully we have the ability to do that. You know, like the music we've always kind of laid it out so that we can always just do whatever we want. Like if we want the
Yeah.
song to be more poppy, we can do that, and it still sounds like us.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think we kind of laid that out for ourselves, which is nice. But I think that's due to just our by the time Animals already was becoming a thing, it was like, I mean, I was like again, I was playing in a tango duo and a hip hop band. The first incarnation of Animals that Tosin had showed me was way different. It was not metal. It was like kind of very experimental and all this weird stuff. So, you know, we were already in that like, let's be different sort of thing.
Yeah. It's very important to establish that, like, from the get go. It's very important.
Yeah.
And like your like the musical landscape you guys do is so wide, but yet you still have the sound.
Yeah.
You know, I noticed that. I'm like, man, they're going all over the place, but I know who I'm listening to, and that's also very rare.
Yeah.
You know, you can hear like way different kinds of influences. It's really cool, and there'll be like a chord progression you guys hit. I'm like, you know, sometimes you'll listen to like a riff or a song, and you're kind of waiting for like that certain chord to hit, and you guys hit it. I hope it hit that like sad part. Oh, there we go. I feel good. Especially when you're doing leg day. I already don't want to fucking be there.
You want sad music on leg day, dude? That's pretty.
Dude, I want that, dude. I need that fucking chord, dude. And I'm like, okay. And then, it's really cool, man. It's especially when you're talking anything like you were saying, how, you know, maybe like the metals progresses a little bit slower than maybe other genres. So it's really important, like for metal or anyone in a metal band, like to really push that, you know, bar.
Yeah, I mean, at least for me, you know, obviously I have my own taste in music, and for me it's the same way with any other style of music. Like with hip hop, I can't listen to everything. It has to. I want to hear the next new thing that I think sounds interesting and not like a rehash.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with jazz or even a pop song, you know, and anything.
Yeah,
But
it's true. Do you ever hear bands that are maybe doing something a lot similar to what you're doing?
yes, I think there's a lot of them that are coming out. I have a weird theory about this.
I would love to hear it.
I think Animals has been able to create such a signature sound that it's gonna be a while before someone can do it or can copy it in their own way. I think people, you know, there's tons of bands that are learning, or tons of guitar players that are learning how to thump, and they're obviously their influence is Animals leaders, and they're like, you know, putting videos up, and it's like, cool, it sounds good job. It sounds like, you know, the Animals leaders. I think it's gonna be a while before someone comes out and fucks it up, fucks the game up. I don't know. I mean, we've also been around for 10 years. It could be. And actually, for me, I'm thinking it's like any day now it's gonna happen. But from what I've seen online, I think people are just starting to get technique wise and stuff like that. But also, another thing is that I think for the people that are copying, in some ways, I think they're missing the point, you know, of being original. You know, for every era or every generation of music that comes out, in my opinion, there's like 4 to 6, maybe, you know, maybe 8 bands that are the defining bands of that era. And after that comes the thousands of bands that sound like them. Some become successful, some not so successful. Other ones tend to like have long-term growing things. And some just come in and out right away. But ultimately, 5 years, 10 years, or 10, 15 years from now, that original 5 bands are the only ones still doing the thing. I mean,
Very true.
think about when Korn came out.
Oh my gosh, so many bands.
Everyone and their mother sounded like Korn.
Yeah.
Deftones, Incubus, Limp
Yeah.
Bizkit. You know,
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many fucking bands wanted to sound like that. Slipknot, when Slipknot came out.
Yeah.
You know, how many bands were like, I'm
it.
gonna do that, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there was tons of bands that kind of pulled it off and sounding like them, but here we are, you know, 15, 20 years later, and it's still just those bands.
It's so few. Yeah, those,
You know what I mean?
those
So
few.
there's a way people have to learn how to like get that, like take that influence and learn to make it their own.
Yeah.
You know, how do you make that fresh and new without, you know, it's like without kind of just sounding like a rehash or like the
Totally.
Baby version.
Totally.
A friend of mine, a producer friend of mine was working with this band here in LA, and he asked me, he's like, yo, you want to help me produce this band? And I was just like, what are they like? He was like, well, they're very influenced by you guys. And I was like, all right, well, let me hear it. And I hear it, and it was like literally like the copies of, you know, and I was,
Yeah.
and homie, it was really good, well done.
Yeah, it's really
you
good.
know,
Yeah.
it was just like, damn, it sounds good, but in a way, I can't really help with this because it's like, it's so much like us that it's not going to do anything for them. And then I remember telling my buddy, the producer, I was just like, it's like, also they're missing the point. They're like, obviously they're very influenced by us. I'm sure by me telling this, it'd be heartbreaking for him, but
Yeah.
but they sound so much like Animals that we would never, ever, ever take them out on tour. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you at least for us, we want to curate a cool show where it's like, here's this other gnarly ass band that you guys should know that doesn't sound like this. Because I mean, we got a lot of notes. How many notes does one need to hear in a fucking show?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. True.
You know,
That's very true.
So I don't know. There are a lot of copies, you know, and one day somebody's gonna come out and fuck up the game and make us sound like dads.
That's
you know?
I mean, that's initially what you want.
Yeah, that means it's like it's working.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, fuck, dude. Like we have our influences, you know. We're heavily influenced by, you know, Meshuggah, but we don't sound like Meshuggah. It's like we definitely play 8-string guitar only because of Meshuggah, you know. But we took a little bit of what they did and all of a sudden incorporated with everything else, and
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like Meshuggah, you know.
Yeah. No, it's great. Yeah, I've always struggled with that feeling. Like, you know, how do you react to like the copycat bands? You know, it's like it's exactly what you said. Like you're missing the point.
It's like you're missing the point.
You're missing the point, man.
Yeah.
It's like you just took a sound, you copied it, you didn't take what's behind the sound.
Yeah, or the
You know?
originality.
Or the originality, you know, yeah.
It's like trying to teach someone how to be cool, and you're just like, I mean, I can tell you have what to say, but I don't mean you have the same swag or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, you know.
It's always been a struggle of mine. I'm like, I mean, you want to tell them that it's cool. And some bands are actually like, you know, successful too. They get signed and I'm like, okay, it's cool.
Yeah.
But you always like this weird feeling, man, but you just, what happened? It's always been strange. But then the older you get, I mean, I guess it's cool, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and whatever, it's gonna happen. So there's nothing. You can't stop it.
You know, yeah, you want to hear like, okay, what did like our bands do? Like you want to hear that next band that just really fucks up the game. You're like, oh shit, I gotta start practicing more.
Yeah.
Like you want to get inspired. Oh, you hear that? Oh, dude, they're like, this is it. This is the next level, dude, and it inspires you.
Yeah.
You know, it's super cool, and it is. I guess it's not inspiring. Maybe is what that feeling maybe we're looking for. Like when you're not inspired, you get kind of bummed out.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know?
dude, I've even gained like respect for bands that I never cared for, especially when I started seeing them live and stuff like that. You know, all of a sudden you see them live and perform, and you're like, oh, okay, I see why people would like this now, and
Yeah.
and they're doing the thing, and it works. And then there's
Yeah.
other ones that they just kind of miss the target. You know?
Yeah. I think that's also something that separates animals from other, especially when we're talking like progressive. To me, as an outside looking in, also being like a rhythm player, I got like a very like, caveman brain ear. I like that simple riff. But with you guys, it sounds like and feels like most importantly, it sounds like that's what's really in your head.
The simple.
Not like the riffs you guys have. It sounds like that's what's really inside you guys, and then you put it on in songs.
Yeah, I mean, part of the trick is like, I mean, I've been playing guitar all my life. Tosin's been playing all his life. Matt's been playing drums all his life.
Mm-hmm.
We ultimately want to play something that is interesting for us to play. Because for whatever reasons, we've just always been gravitated, independently to things that are on the challenging side. We've also, like grew up in a era of like hip music. I mean, there was for me there was metal, there was drum and bass, there was all sorts of cool shit.
Yeah.
So, and it's just a matter of like being a way to like, all right, how do I incorporate all this crazy shit in a style of music that I can still like feel heavy groove and heavy pocket without just sounding like a music theory exam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because obviously, I mean, the music has it. You can break down rhythmically, harmonically, as far as it is, but I would think that part of the success of the band is that on top of having all that stuff, you can still feel the groove. You may not understand what is happening, and you're like, I don't know why this is grooving as good as it does, but I know that I'm grooving. At least I think that's been part of some of the success of it also. And
How do you do that?
I don't know. We just kind of just do the thing.
So, what's the meaning of life, Javi? That's I think that's your answer was perfect because there's some things we just don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
You just do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know
know?
why I gravitated towards like, good. I was a kid and being like, seeing my teacher playing all this crazy shit, and I was like, I want to know how to do that. As opposed to being like, I want to get really good at video games. I was the kid who was trying to just get good at guitar as opposed to like other shit.
Yeah.
I didn't. What did I tell? I told Herman Lee I hadn't discovered vagina. So
Yeah.
It's like I didn't know what it was. I just was a fat kid who liked playing guitar, and I didn't know there was a thing called vagina before.
Yeah. There's I got this from, I won't quote him because I don't want to get him in trouble, but I probably shouldn't say his the band, but I was on tour with a guy, and I was like, but they're actually, I mean, they're great guitar players. So, I mean, obviously, bands that we like respect. You're like, oh, it's that guy. He was like, oh, I'm happy where I'm at. I like going out and getting pussy. I was like, oh yeah. I mean, there is so much time to like, it's the balance of life.
Yeah.
A lot of time is for your friends. It's a lot of time is for how much you want to practice. And then there's that.
There's the other side.
Yeah. Which just makes it very important to have a girlfriend. It clears your head, man, and you get practice a lot. So thank you. You practice a lot more. I notice a lot more focus on practicing. That's for sure. You're not like, where's this? I need this.
Yeah, I mean, Just clarity.
Clarity, dude.
Clarity and lack of distractions.
That's key, and those are hard to accomplish, man,
It is.
because you're always distracted, and you're always trying to find clarity. At least I am. It's
Yeah.
tough. It's like, what can I do to get clarity? Okay, I guess I could go to the gym. Not enough. Okay, I guess I'll meditate. It's not enough. All right, I guess I'll read. I'll read some books. Oh, I still feel like a fucking idiot. So I guess I'm just an idiot.
Yeah, I have
But at
those
least you get
moments
more
where
clarity.
it's just like, I'm at the gym and I'm like, damn, I really should be practicing guitar. And then I get home and I practice guitar. Then I'm like, I really don't want to practice guitar. I'd rather be at the gym. And then I'm like, all right, let
Yeah.
me just stop doing this because I'm not being productive. And then I'm like, let me watch some Netflix. And then after like 10 minutes, I'm like, I should practice guitar. And it's just like
Yeah,
kind of have these like little
yeah,
battles. And then after a while, you're
Yeah.
like, somehow you get shit done. You find the one thing that clicks for that day
yeah. You ever feel like you're not doing enough
all the time.
all the time, huh?
Yeah.
That feeling never goes away.
Never goes away.
Like you could do something all day and do some cool shit, and like next day, I'm like, I didn't do enough.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
then you go on Instagram, you see all these pictures of like this guitar player, this like rapper doing. I'm like, oh, I'm not doing enough.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
It never goes away.
and I don't know if it's due to the sobriety thing, but I'm having those moments where I'm like, I need more hours in the fucking day.
Dude.
Like,
Oh yeah.
I need more hours. Like, I only got these things done, but I needed to get all this other stuff done too. And it's just like, it's a constant battle.
Yeah, it's a blessing, it's a curse. It's that same kind of. At least
It's
for
better
me.
to have that and know that we're like productive individuals as opposed to being like, I'm good. I'm good, I'm good.
Dude.
Netflix is good. I haven't
Yeah.
finished it. I've still got a whole lot of Netflix to watch.
Yeah, yeah. Transparently, that's one big mistake I made earlier on in my career. Like that feeling of being complacent. I remember that feeling. So, the band's doing good. Oh, I'm done. It's like, well, maybe play a record here and there.
Yeah,
But,
well,
man,
dude,
that
like,
feeling sucks.
I remember, it was like, okay, you got your guitar endorsement, the band's playing everywhere, you've toured with some of your favorite bands. I was just like,
Yeah.
you know what? I accomplished my dream. Like, the fuck do I do now? Like, and I was just like,
Yeah.
I didn't think about after.
Yeah, you don't. You
It's
don't think
like-
about that shit.
I was just like, I want to be in a band, I want to travel the world, and I want my own guitar. And it came real fast, and then I was just like, oh, shit. Like, what do I do? And now, obviously shit's changing, but
Yeah.
but yeah, it's weird how that happened. You're just like
Yeah.
fucking on a
Yeah.
rock, dude.
Yeah. It's like I wish someone like sat us down. Okay, wait. Okay, cool, great. What are you gonna do the day after? There's no fucking book to read. There's no roadmap.
There's no like fucking metal band, economics 101, living the dream
Yeah.
101.
So this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna go on tour. You're gonna drink way too much. You're gonna feel like an asshole.
You can see all
And
the
then you're
the fake dicks drawn on the walls.
Yep, all over the world.
All over the world. It's like for some reason people love drawing dicks.
That's a universal language. What the fuck, man?
It's weird.
Yeah, you'll be in Japan. You'll be going
And
to
it's
Japan,
always
you'll-
guys doing it.
Why is that?
I don't know. You don't see girls drawing vaginas anywhere.
You know what? I think I've probably drawn at least 5 dicks. Definitely under 5, but I only did it because there's other ones on the wall. I guess I got to contribute to the art piece.
It's your bedroom though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
No, I've definitely drawn some. I'm not as crazy about it, but it's impressive sometimes when I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, this whole green room is covered in dicks.
Yeah.
Do you remember like
So it's messed
the
up.
old Masquerade in
Atlanta?
Atlanta?
Yeah.
That was one that was just like everywhere. I was like, the fuck, man.
It's messed up. Have you been to the new one?
Yeah, it's not as cool. It's nice, but it's not as vibey.
Think so?
Yeah, the old one had a vibe, dude. It was like an old mill.
It did. Yeah. It had that fucking like sketchy ass like crane that lifted the gear
Yeah, it
to
was
the
like-
stage. I'm like, what?
like
That
the-
thing's gonna fucking break,
It's like
dude.
the first crane ever.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that shit was sketchy. But I guess.
Yeah, the main room is awesome. Like it sounds amazing in there.
Yeah. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I liked the old. It was one of those venues that you're like, oh yeah, this I know exactly where we're at, the Masquerade.
Yeah.
You know, it was always hot as hell.
Yeah, it's a hot one. They always had good catering there. Especially like those are one of the rare venues where no matter how big or small your band was, you know you're gonna get good food.
Yeah.
You know, remember like playing there the first time. Isn't like the one downstairs called Hell?
Yeah, it used to be like, heaven was the big room.
Yeah.
And then hell was the downstairs.
Yeah.
Um,
Where they put us rejects.
yeah.
But yeah, I remember showing up like, oh shit, like when you get catering for the first time, it's a big fucking deal. I
You're
think
like-
I think that was a masquerade.
It's like sick.
Dude, and they made us food
It's like I'll take.
and there's cookies
It's like there's Thousand Island, dude, with like mixed greens. Yes.
and dressing.
Yeah.
And it's my first salad in my life,
It's like,
dude.
damn. And we don't have to pay. It's like, where are the showers at though?
Yeah, those little things, man.
It's weird.
It's weird how they just stay with you. Those moments.
They should have like touring boot camp. You know, it's like when you get out of high school, you get to choose to go to, real college, the army, or like touring boot camp. And they make you sleep in between the van seats.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to pick. You get to learn how to like, shower at a truck stop. How
Yeah.
to like
In the snow at 2
how
a.m.
to how to
or
poop,
something
how to
like
how to
that.
poop in the snow.
Oh
Well,
my god.
how to remove a trailer, how to back up with a trailer. Dude, one time we were on tour, we had this we were in a bandwagon,
Yeah.
and the driver, this was when bandwagon was like recommending drivers or had a list of drivers. And we hired this guy from bandwagon.
Yeah.
We get up in the vehicle and the guy's like, just so you know, I don't know how to reverse with a trailer. And we're like, my mans, the fuck are you talking about? Like, you don't know how to reverse. It's like, you're the driver.
Yeah.
Like,
You're doing that every day.
how did you apply for this job? You didn't put that in the memo, did you?
Yeah.
Like, you so did not put that in the memo.
On purpose. Yeah.
Like, you motherfucker.
Wow.
Yeah.
You get you get like unlucky sometimes. Or sometimes when it's like the worst feeling ever, which is one feeling I always like makes you pray for even bands you don't like when you're trying to sleep and it's like 4:30 a.m. like drivers hitting like the rumble strip. You wake up, you're like,
It's like, is this it?
is this it? It's that feeling. I know we all feel it at a time like that. That's one feeling I pray for everybody, man. That shit sucks. When like, is he going off the road? It feels like he's going off the road.
Fuck. Dude, yeah. Horror stories.
Oh yeah, and then you had dreams like I had dreams like the bus or the bandwagon or the van's going off a cliff and going into like the water.
Yeah.
That's a recurring dream I have. Am I trying to like get out? I like hop out of like my bed and just trying to run out of wherever. It's like it's a.
Then hopefully you didn't do shrooms the night before.
Oh, well, there's
Because then
little-
you have a
little
real
twist.
interesting dreams. You wake up and you're like, is it still the shrooms? You're like, oh no, I'm just at the masquerade.
yeah. Oh my god, I don't know what it is about late nights. You want to do stuff you want to do at home. The 2 times I did DMT was on tour. I don't know why. This just seems like a great idea. So yeah, but it's on tour. Whatever.
See, such a simple decision. It's like, yeah, DMT. Don't know what it stands for, but I'll take it.
Life changing moments right now. Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I
It's like you,
dude, twice I put on Corn, and man, it sounded so good.
yeah. I've heard some music on, some
Dude.
substances, and it's like,
Oh my
gosh,
gosh.
it's the best thing ever. Sometimes I wish you could listen. It's hard to listen to music like that.
It is. Yeah, it's cool how you could have multiple experiences with like your favorite bands or favorite records again and again. Like there's the times you heard it when you were sober as a kid. There's times you heard it when you're drunk. The times you hear it when you're high. The times you hear it if you're on mushrooms or DMT. Like you have like multiple. It's like it's the same record, but you hear it differently.
Yeah.
Oh man, your first time being high hearing music, man, it's special. Here, dude, my
You're like reliving it in your head
I'm
right
sorry.
now.
I
You're like,
forgot.
you had a
forgot
deep
where you
stare.
were.
You're like,
I forgot where we
"Oh,
were, man. I'm
dude."
sorry, dude. You gotta listen to any record from Ross Robinson High. You hear all those little things. Those that it's magic.
Do you think? Do you
Magic.
think having worked with him? Do you think now you listen to those albums differently?
Yeah.
Like your perspective, you're like, oh shit, I could see how he would have done this, or
Dude, it's been a trip. Still, it's recently, like it's last week. Like I was heard put on Iowa for I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of time, and like I'll hear something different because I know I know what he's doing with the tracks, and I'll hear like another like guitar noise I didn't hear like the past 100 times. It's like
Dude,
wow,
that dude broke so many bands. It's kind of, or like, made them something. Because
Yeah.
I remember hearing the Korn demos,
yeah,
and then hearing what he did. It was like, oh my god,
dude.
changed it up. The same
Yeah.
thing with Slipknot. Same thing with Glassjaw.
Glassjaw's sick.
Yeah, I love Glassjaw, but their
Yeah.
their first demos were like,
Yeah.
and then he just made it all sick.
Dude, he knows how to flip the switch, dude. He can flip the switch. There's like some, if you do some digging on YouTube, there's seconds of him in Indigo Ranch with doing the first Slipknot record, and you can just see him in like the main room, like they're rocking out, and Ross is going insane. You're like, to be in that room in that time, special.
Yeah, I'm
so
sure.
cool.
I'm sure.
He was here like last month, and just hearing those stories, man, it's like, dude, you were in those rooms.
Yeah.
And now a surreal moment was Slipknot played here in SoCal. They played Iowa front to back,
Oh, wow.
and it was a very nice outdoor venue. And I was lucky, and we got like this little booth, and Ross is like right behind me. And we were watching Iowa, someone play Iowa front to back. I was like trying not to freak out, like Ross is right behind me.
Let's go.
Ah, cool. Don't headbang. Don't headbang, you fucking loser.
Just like, give one of those.
Yeah, it's like those moments you have, when you're out there, you're like, whoa, this is like real.
Yeah.
This is real life.
Yeah.
I'm drinking with so and so, or I'm hanging around so and so, or it's I don't even know like the word for it. It's a trip, man. It doesn't seem real.
It's surreal. Surreal is probably a good word.
Yeah.
Like, I remember touring with Meshuggah. They changed how I listened to music. I didn't know Odd Meter could be done in a certain way, and I remember seeing them for the first time. And I was like 16 when I saw them. They were opening up for Slayer back forever ago. And then to go on tour with them, and then seeing it every day, and it was just like, this is awesome. And dude, I remember one time at NAMM, I'm like walking around in the upstairs area, and all of a sudden I see Frederick, and he looks over at me, and he's just like, ah! And I was just like, it's like when your idol is more excited to see you than you are to see him, sort of thing. And I was like, what's that feeling? That's like, that feels amazing. Like,
What a feeling, huh?
yeah, it's like cool. It's like,
Yeah.
you're just like, it's like cool. Signature guitar is cool, whatever. That right there,
That is.
that's priceless. Like, I don't know what that's called, but it feels amazing.
It's amazing, man. It's
Yeah.
hard. It's hard to be in a moment when it's happening, huh?
Yeah. Or yeah, I mean, even we were like on that same Meshuggah tour. When you're on tour, you're just like practicing your guitar or whatever.
Yeah.
I remember Frederick came up and he was just like, "Man, you guys are always just like playing on your guitars, practicing all day." I was like, "Yeah, kind of." He's like, "That's inspiring," and I was like, "Motherfucker!" I was like, "We're inspiring? What? Like, you're inspiring?" I was like, "We play 8-string because your ass did." Like, what do you mean?
Wow.
And so it's like, those are some like magical moments.
It is, man.
You're just like, wow, it's pretty rad. I'll take it.
It's rad. You're not like kind of I'm looking at the past, like, all like the good old days, but you ever like years down the road, like look back, like, wow, that happened.
Yeah, dude.
You look
Yeah.
like years later, you're like, wow.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's been a handful of them. Um, yeah, that happened, or like I'm friends with this person now. What the
Yeah.
fuck? Um, I'm buddies with this bass player Stu Ham. Do you know Stu Ham?
No.
Just like legendary bass player, and I remember hearing about him in high school. Like all my jazz band buddies being like, "Dude, Stu Ham, he's fucking sick, man. Please, tap me." And now I'm like friends with him. Like we talk on a regular basis, and it's like, that's crazy. That's crazy. But it's cool, and you have those little moments, and I don't know. It's nice to do that. It's like
Yeah.
all right, cool. I'll take it. It's like,
Yeah. It's even more of a trip that like you're just beginning, maybe.
yeah. I mean, fuck. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Animals is a very innovative band. Definitely like a very futuristic band in my personal opinion. Where do you see the music industry going?
I don't know, dude. It's changed so much, even since Animals started. And we're 10 years, 11 years, and that's not a long time. But when we started, it was like MySpace was still a thing, and that's definitely out the window.
Yeah.
Spotify didn't exist. I don't even think iTunes existed.
No.
Or if it maybe I can't remember, but it was like, it was only a laptop thing. It wasn't like definitely not a phone thing.
Yeah.
There was zero YouTube. Definitely Instagram did not exist. I don't know. That's all like new. Everything's kind of shifted. Streaming. I mean, when's the last time you bought a CD?
It's been a while.
It's been a minute. Like, I think most new cars don't even come with CD players.
I'm seeing that. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, as far as like what's going to be popular, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
What I do know is that whatever across all genres, the original like artists tend to like be the ones that last. They may not be the biggest for any current year. There might be somebody that comes out that sounds like, a remake or something, and they might blow up. But the ones that like tend to last for a long time are the ones that sound original.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think you're right. Being original is huge, and I think maybe the transcend the trends.
Yeah.
I believe that. I also think that there's going to be a mix of what's going on now with the streaming plus doing what you're already doing, just being who's really a badass band live, but it could also kind of maybe incorporate where music is going with like the internet and streaming and so on, but maybe have a balance of both.
Well, I think the performance side of it is always going to be the true test.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously through the internet, here's one thing. I think because of YouTube and Instagram and all this kind of like even TikTok, there might be people who become very famous through that. But then when you go see them perform, they have that thing that we were talking about before where it's just like, homie does not know how to handle people looking
Yeah.
at them, doesn't know how to handle all of a sudden you tell the monitor guy more kick and then he's just blaring kick and nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't have that experience. So I think the performance is the test. There are bands who perform so well that I'm like, one, I mean, I'm sure you've seen all the like billboards on tour where they're announcing other tours, and you're like, damn, that band's still around. Like I haven't heard anything about them in forever. And then you see
Yeah.
them, and they're like phenomenal live.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, they kill it live.
They're great live.
You
Yeah.
know, my experience has been that, like, performance. If you sound phenomenal live, you might have a very good career. You may stop showing up on the radio all the time, but you just kill every time,
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, it's go see them, go see that band.
Yeah.
So I don't know as far as like what's gonna happen, but I think performance is the test.
Performance is a test. I agree. It's kind of interesting how things kind of.
Yo, hang on before we start. Is there any way, or can we cut this and I can go to the bathroom real quick?
One thing I can't have in a house is protein bars.
Really?
Yeah, it sucks. It's you have like your trigger foods.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Protein bar. I can't. This is great. It's healthy. I can have a quick snack. But if I get a box, they're all gone. They're fucking gone. Same day. They have like protein almonds now, like chocolate almonds, and it's just it'll last an hour, maybe.
Yeah.
And that's with like me being in my room, just torturing myself. Don't eat it. Don't eat it. And then eventually you just go and get the box. Sucks. What were we talking about? Future music, right?
The future of music.
The future
and then
music
we went
is
into chewable Tums and protein bars.
so. There's Spotify. There's chewable vitamins.
Yeah.
Okay.
A buddy of mine from the gym who's a comedian was saying, is like, you're old when you start burping through your sentences. When you're like, yo, so I got to do this thing.
Oh, that is true.
That's kind of true.
Yeah. Yeah, I am burping more. Shit.
It's going to happen.
Well, that's the future.
That's the future. Yeah. Dude, so yeah, going back to the future music. I don't know. Maybe we got to put tattoos on our face. Fucking put a little diamond on our fucking foreheads.
That's cool.
I'm
just gonna put a tattoo on my ass. Because eventually we're to stop doing selfies on our face. We don't know how it's going to evolve, and I want to be ahead of the curve.
Yeah, dude.
See, I think that's how
Start
true.
getting knee
innovator.
piercings.
Yeah,
Knee piercings. Next vibe. I don't know.
dude. I remember I got my lip pierced in high school. I thought it was so cool.
Yeah, I had both my eyebrows pierced. I was like, fucking metal, dude.
Oh, you were new metal, dude. That's sick.
I was new metal as fuck.
Oh, dude. Boy, you know what? Low key, I've always wanted to get my eyebrows pierced because of John Davis. Man, it looks so cool. Fuck.
Yeah.
And I never did it. I got barely. My parents let me do my lip.
I had my ears pierced too. It doesn't look, my head's too big or something. It looks weird.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, don't do it.
There you go. Well, at least you're self-aware enough to know. Okay, this is not my move.
Well, I became self-aware after getting
getting
them. It was like,
that
it's like, wow, that looks terrible.
or that would cause self-awareness. Yeah, there's that too.
Definitely.
Do you journal?
I try, and I'm just terrible at it. No, but I have probably like 3 or 4 notebooks in my apartment.
Dabble maybe like a little bit.
I'll do like 3 or 4 days, and then I forget that I have it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Same. You ever look back at what you wrote?
No, I definitely don't.
Really? Oh shit. Well, maybe I could help you with something. I was reading an interview you did like 6 years ago plus, and it was the more you can learn, the more you can create.
Yeah.
And
I said that?
yeah, you said that.
That's pretty tight.
It's pretty tight. Dude, you're like kind of smart. That's smart to say.
Whoa.
And that was like, that was like, for me, that was a gem. Like literally, I literally wrote that down. It was cool. And it hit me. I was like, that is true. And I noticed, later on in my career too, very recently, like the more I dive into learning or practicing a certain skill, the more I create, the more riffs that come out, and it seems like there's like this kind of infinite storage of inspiration and riffs. When I used to think that it was limited, and I noticed like what you say, like it's very true. The more you learn, the more you can create.
Yeah. I mean, I think that has an exponential like benefit to it. I mean, even so, like learning one technique, right? It doesn't mean that all of a sudden all your guitar playing has to turn into that one technique. It can mean that now you can implement that into your other shit. Now the contrast that you can add between one section of a song to the next section of a song can be completely different. Your ability to learn something lets you look at what you've already done differently. You know?
Very true.
So yeah, it you can start creating more. Also, I think something that's important is always like, despite even learning stuff, I think it's always important to like write what you know. Like, I mean, we're both metal guys. You know, we even with everybody in Animals, it's like, you know, maybe Matt's probably the only one who could probably pull the other stuff off, but we're like, you know, we incorporate jazz into our shit. We incorporate all sorts of styles of music, electronica into it. But ultimately, we know metal, and we write the metal. We just add a little bit of this, right?
Yeah.
I cannot go to like a jazz jam session and being like, all right, dude, let's play Giant Steps.
Yeah.
So I write metal. And even with like Mestis, the solo stuff, it's like it's what the other stuff that I know that isn't metal, and where I can put it in a context, you know, that's still one piece of body, like one body of work.
Yeah.
Still learning stuff, but it's like ultimately still what you know.
Yeah. But when you're learning, you can add more variety to
Absolutely.
to your style.
Absolutely.
You know what I just said. I also got from the same interview. Yeah.
Fucking A.
You said that.
Fuck.
It's pretty cool.
That dude's smart.
Yeah, I was like, dude, who wrote that? Damn.
Fucking A.
Dude, I was gonna bring up like if you journal like
It's like, is that Malcolm X?
damn, dude. Dude, I'll like, you know, I dabble in journaling, and like, you know, I have stuff from like years ago. Like I'll look back from a previous week, a month, or a year, or a few years. I'm like, I wrote that? I said that? Whoa.
You're like, damn.
Damn, that's like smart. I'll like buy his book. It's so weird that like sometimes like you do something or you say something and like, whoa, that was.
How deep do you go in your journals though? Like if she read them, would you be like fuck?
I mean, I thought about that, and that's low key. That's a secret fear. I that's a thing I battle with. If I would want someone to read my journal, or if I'm comfortable, or how I would feel, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe because it's
Would you rather them find nudes of you or read your journals?
nudes in me.
That was very quick.
That was very quick. That was the easy one.
It's like dick pic any day.
If I went on a PRP like Chris Garza has nudes, I don't. If it's that, I'll choose that over someone reading my journal for real.
That's what's up. That's very. I mean, at least it's your place to be honest with yourself. So it's nice
Yeah.
that you can do that. That's why I think I've never been able to quite do it, because when I do it, I'm like, I don't want to write this shit down. Like,
Yeah, there is that.
It's like, what is the fucking
Yeah,
no? Like,
that's true.
fucking leave it in the wrong fucking place, or like,
Hmm.
do you do it on tour?
Yeah, here tour,
Fuck.
the whole nine.
None of your bandmates are like, fuck you, dude. You pissed me off, so I'm gonna read your shit.
Oh no, man. And we have
Like
It's-
Eddie just like goes up on stage like,
it takes a turn by reading out loud. Like,
So
oh
true.
fuck. It's like, where's the fucking noose, man? Let's do it right here on stage, man.
I got
Fuck
some
it.
new lyrics, guys.
Oh god, dude, that would be terrifying. I think it's because of what we do. That's literally the only private thing I have in my life. So it's kind of maybe if I wasn't in a band, it wouldn't be so like sacred. but because that's literally the only privacy I have. But maybe with age, it'll be like, oh, okay, let me read it, or maybe put it out. I don't know. We'll see.
Damn.
Because another thing I worry about is just what you just brought up. Like, okay, I wrote it down. What if someone sees this? I think about like, shit. I'm out driving around. I'm in like an airplane or on tour, and you're in like a rocky airplane ride, which is very common. Like, shit, my journals are in my room. Fuck. I always have that feeling when I'm driving and like someone almost hits me and like my journals are in my fucking room. It is a thought that always creeps up. Man, what am I leaving behind? Like, all those journals.
I read
they're gonna fucking read them.
It was like in a movie or something that somebody said, you never really know a person until they're dead and you start discovering all their shit. Yeah. Because all of a sudden you're like,
that's true.
You go into the shit. It's like, damn, dude, dad had a foot fetish.
Yeah.
It's like all these stack of magazines or whatever.
Yeah. It's crazy, especially with the internet. I forgot I think it was Neil Strauss, very good author. He said like your mistakes live longer than you do because everything's online. I was like, damn, that's true. Shit.
It's like immortalized.
Yeah.
It's like from here till like the end of humanity.
Yeah. Dude, that always trips me out, especially we have experience with that. It's like, when an artist, passes away, suddenly like, man, like that was your last Instagram post. And they had no idea. That was it.
It's like,
boom.
It's like, damn. Is that?
And then we all, I've done it, and we'll go on like their page. I think a recent one was Kobe. Like you go on their page and you see like their last post, and we're all just, I'll put a comment. I don't know why, but it feels like you're talking to them. Like, oh, maybe like he'll see this. It's weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's like, man, that was his last post, and he had no idea.
It's like he was just like stoked about his Whataburger, dude.
Yeah, at least it's not as bad as someone reading my journal.
Yeah,
dude,
I was impressed with how fast you would rather have somebody see nudes of you.
Dude, that's the easy one.
You're like nudes.
Nudes now. Not nudes when I'm late 20s. I was fat, so I think now I'll be cool. So if they pick a good year, that'll be all right.
Fair enough.
Oh fuck! Yeah, it's so personal. But I don't know.
It's your therapy. It
is. I notice me personally, like it helps me like process thoughts and feelings. Yeah. When you see it on paper and like it looks back at you, you kind of compartmentalize. What was that word?
Compartmentalize.
Thank you. You kind of put things where they are, and you could process them. And I found a lot of help with that. I've been doing it for at least 8 years.
Wow,
been very helpful. And then your words give like new meaning as the years go on. You kind of like moments you had with like your favorite bands. They have like new meaning as the years go on.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of weird with some of those stuffs. I mean, it's nice. I mean, even with my with photos, I used to like go to a place and be like, damn, I want to take a picture of this thing, and especially on tour. And then after a while, I catch myself being like, never looking at those photos. Being like,
yeah,
going back way after was just like, oh, why the fuck did I take the picture of that? Like, whatever.
Yeah, it's true.
So I don't know. I think over the years I've kind of turned into just enjoy living that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But I do see the value in it. It just my I don't know, my brain is always like, nah.
Yeah. What's your take on social media? Like how much to post because it's necessary for us, but you want to be in the moment when you're doing things where you got to take a picture of, which I've been. It's kind of been like a back and forth feeling.
Well, we're in a weird situation where like our social media obviously connects us to our loved ones, but almost it connects us to the fans, right? Or the people who are supporters. You know, with the supporters, with with the culture that exists, one, there's always people looking for reasons to hate or to make fun of you, or so I think posting. It's not like you can just be at like, you know, you're at your, you know, your cousin's kid's, you know, birthday, and you're like, oh, let me post. What most people are doing is like posting the little family event, and they're like, look, the rest of the family is gonna like this picture here. We can't necessarily do that without it being like taking like it being looked at as in a weird context, because it's like we have guitar videos, here's an interview, here's a guitar playthrough, or here's little fucking, you know, Chepe with, you know, it's getting, you know, busting open his piñata, and it's not quite the same thing.
That's true, unfortunately.
So it's weird. I don't know. Would you ever have like a personal one? I've thought about that, of just like all of a sudden one specifically for the band, and then have one with like a fake ass name for like, and I tell that to my family so no one can find me, and start following that one.
Yeah, it's tough, because then would you think that's just more work?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't know. I also don't like, if I want to stay connected to my family or like my close peers, that I can put dumb shit like, here's a little, you know, you go to the animal petting zoo and you're like, look guys, I'm playing with the donkey.
Yeah.
We can't put that on our, necessarily on our.
That's true.
It has to be a story, because it only lives 24 hours. It can't be like part of the time. It can't be there permanently.
Yeah.
Only the shit that's like guitar little clips, cool.
Yeah.
If I'm doing a clinic, cool. But like me, you know, me shooting the shit.
Yeah.
You know, when you're at the gym, you're trying to flex one of these.
Yeah.
It can only be a story.
That's true. That's true. Man, I gotta do a gym story pick. Fuck. Man, where have I been? Yeah, dude. I would go and, because low key, like, I walk in the bathroom, and it's like these guys flexing in the mirror. I'm like, you know what? I should just do one pick, just one, and then I'll post it on my story. And then that'll be the one. But then it'll be one person does a screenshot, and it lives forever somewhere.
Yeah.
And that'll be the picture they put up on the news sites.
All of a sudden, you become the favorite new meme.
Yeah. See, and then I'm a meme, and then I'd rather have that happen than
even though it's probably
journal.
going to be funny, but you're like, fuck. Damn, it's good, but fuck. Yeah.
Especially in the world with of memes.
People are like real fast. Real fast.
Yeah, people are quick and witty. I struggle like to enjoy them, because you know where a majority of them come from. I mean, you heard about like the whole thing with memes in Russia?
No.
No? Okay. Maybe you shouldn't dive into that rabbit hole, because it's a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Where there's a certain area actually will actually make the memes to cause some kind of like reaction.
I mean, I'm sure that there are some, but I would say a lot of them, at least the memes that I like, are fucking funny. And a lot of them have to do with like social shit that's happening currently. Like, you know, it takes knowing the local humor to understand, you know. And I don't think it's like some, you know, Russian agent being like, oh, if I use the word bruh, it'll be really funny. You know, like,
Yeah.
I doubt, but I'm sure there's like some political shit that's probably out there. But
Yeah.
you know, I'm not looking at those. I'm trying to find funny ones.
I like that. That's the way you should live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't ruin the meme game like I did, because then it ruins your life.
Yeah.
And then you're not happy. So don't be me. Well, shit, hobby. Let's wrap it up. I don't want to take too much of your time. This is our first late podcast, and I've enjoyed this.
It's a good vibe.
8 o'clock. They say it's better to do things late, and you're more creative. what do you think about that?
Uh, I think it's pretty accurate. You know, it's hard. I mean, it's like, how many of your tunes have you been like, oh, it's 9:30 in the morning. I feel like being metal as fuck right now. I don't think it's hard to
True.
do that, you know.
That's true.
That was kind of one of the weird things that with the streaming stuff when I was doing it. It was like, because I was trying to write stuff and I was doing it earlier in the day because it has more, you know, attendance during the time. But it was just like,
Yeah.
it'd be like 11 in the morning. I'm like, fuck, I don't feel like being metal right now. Like, I gotta take a shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah. I just
oh.
have my morning coffee. I'm taking shit right now, dude.
dude,
The
it
fuck?
was
I
just
can't.
like, I want to do that. I want to go to the gym.
Yeah.
I don't even want to play guitar right now. Like I usually start later in the day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's something to it. It might also just be our conditioning where we just become night owls, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, even the same. You know, I've been learning this coding stuff, and it's like earlier in the day, I can do some work, but come like 11 o'clock, I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna figure it out. And then all of a sudden, it's like 4 in the morning. I'm like, oh shit, yeah.
Wow.
You know, so.
Huh.
But you know, we've all had that with music as well. So
Yeah.
it might be a conditioning thing. It might be that's just how, you know, what's worked out for us. I don't know. But I don't know too many musicians that are like waking up at 10 in the morning and being like, yeah, let's get
True.
creative as fuck, yo.
That's true. Fuck. And notice, like, when you said the different kind of creative when it's later. It is true. It's weird. I think that's also like generally speaking with humans. Like you're just like you tend to go more into a creative flow state at night. Apparently, I learned that from Tim Ferriss. I don't know if you're familiar with Tim Ferriss. Artists and more so musicians tend to like say they're really creative during like the wee hours of night.
Salvador Dali used to like to deprive himself of sleep to paint. He would stay up so much that he would hold. I think he would try to hold a spoon by his knee or something like this, and then when he would just try to get little, like, you know, 10-minute naps, and then the second he would drop the spoon, he would hit his foot, and he was like, all right, wake the fuck up, start getting creative.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That,
You know, I don't
like
know
that.
if that's fact. You know, sometimes I've been known to say non-facts, but I
it's
think
back
that's,
now.
I think, you know, if we put it in the internet, it becomes a fact. Like
These
all the
days.
memes.
Yeah. Yeah, these days, yeah. Yeah, what do you got going on? And where can people find you?
Well, I'll probably still be doing the Twitch stuff here and there, and it's just like the same as my Instagram, Javier Reyes, but with an extra J and an extra S at the end. But it's my name. It's pretty easy to find. You know, all the just social media platforms where it was there. The Animals Leaders site, the Mestis site. You can even do, yeah, pretty much just that.
Cool. IG?
IG, Javier Reyes.
Cool. All right, we want to check it out. Thank you for listening and watching. Until next time, later. Peace out.